Please give me a minute.
Okay, it's fine.
All right, please, you can start.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I supposed to have made this presentation before now. So what the day assigned, I had the network was actually terrible anyways. So today we'll be talking about ethics in technology. It's a topic that we all have known, and it's just in kind of a reminder and also to brush up some of the important aspects in technology that we need to know. I'm Daniel. I'm a member of the Python data science team, and I'm a Python developer. I'm free to connect. So if you do that, if you like that, you can connect to me on my LinkedIn profile. I'll also be dropping that in the chat section. So these are the things we're going to be covering today. We're going to be covering the key aspects of ethics in technology. We're going to be covering privacy and data protection, which is another aspect of ethics in technology. We're also going to be covering about bias and fairness, accountability and responsibility, environmental impact, that was spelled wrong anyways, then impact on employment, human-centric design, intellectual property, examples, and use cases. So let's get to work. So when we're talking about ethics in technology, this refers basically to the principle, the standard, the responsible creation, those method or those usability approach that we have to follow to use technology effectively so that it will favor both the poor, both the less privileged and your gender equality or something like that. So this has to be with the responsible creation, usage, and the management of technology. As we all know that technology is increasingly increasing today. So ethics in technology permits you to follow that standard approach to ensure, let's just take this if you can't get the others, to ensure the safety of your users or the safety of the clients that you develop your application to. Then the key aspect of ethics in technology. One is privacy and data protection. Most of the times when you are surfing through the internet and you click any, should I say, any pop-up of your choice, which redirects you to a particular domain or a particular URL. Now, during the process of doing this, you may pop up some notification that says cookies collect your data for analysis on the internet or something. Now, they are seeking for your permission. They want you to be aware. This should not be an inadvertent something. So they want you to be aware of such operation or such user data collection, that you consent for this to happen. So once you click accept or reject, what happens at the back end depends on the person that built the product anyways. Sorry. So then when we're talking about privacy and data protection, for instance, the way our data go over the internet, or maybe you are shopping on Amazon or Jumia or something else, and you are entering your credit card information. Now, Jumia, like I believe, Jumia and Amazon, some of all those well-known, should I say, shipping or e-commerce software, they have this privacy and data protection included, as they are very much aware of ethics in technology. If you happen to enter your credit card information today for a shopping, and at the end of the day, or maybe 2 days after, you started receiving a debit alert on your credit card, or your card being charged wrongly, that is actually that your data was not protected actually from the end where you make such transactions. So the key aspect of ethics in technology that matters a lot is privacy and data protection. So now this compliance goes with the regulation of GDPR in Europe, which governs data protection and user privacy. If you happen to be in any Western world and you want to develop an application, the first thing that if this application is what users will be using, for instance, let's take the popular one, the blue app, Facebook. Now, the Facebook is registered in many regulation bodies. Now, why this is registered is because at a point, I think there was a time Facebook was sued for inappropriate use of users' data. So now the GDPR in Europe governs the data protection of each users. And this is to ensure that those using your application are not facing should I say, cyberbullying, cyber attack, or any potential activity that may harm such users. Another one that includes data collection and usage. If you are collecting, for instance, users BVN, because I've happened to work an application, though is part of developer. So I happen to work in part of application that involves collecting users BVN, and this happens to be all this VTU app. So now you don't actually store users BVN, I mean bank information on file. So you query them from a specific API, then you keep only the first 4 digits and the last 4 digits of that particular details. So the collection of data and usage in ethics and technology requires transparent data collection method, ensuring users informed and consent to how their data are being used. Like I made mention about cookies. When you say we use them for data privacy protection, we analyze cookies for your data, you consent whether you do this or not. So what matters when you click yes or no depends on the developer of such application. Then we're talking about security, protecting user data from breaches and unauthorized access is a paramount, and that is very, very paramount. Not giving your user assurance that they are highly protected in your application, and at the end of the day, they find themselves being spammed by maybe a spamming email or something else, whereby their data are collected. Then the next one is bias and fairness. Now, imagine going for an interview, and I think I made this in my public artifact. Imagine going for an interview, and it happens that you are checked in with, should I say, a fingerprint or maybe a facial recognition. Now, on getting to that place, and when you place your finger, and the application responded that this app or this application doesn't attend to the black. That is completely unfair. So it's not treating everyone equal. Unfairness, so I mean, fairness and lack of bias is very, very approach. I mean, it's very, very important in building your application, of which is one of the ethics in technology. When we're talking about algorithmic bias, ensuring that algorithms do not perpetuate or amplify biases present in training data. Then equal access. Technology should be designed and developed to be accessible and fair to all users, regardless of their kind, their color, their skin type, or whatever it is. You know, we Africans, we are late to technology. And whatever it is that is being used out there, when it's shipped to us, there have been thousands of persons which have been in use of this technology. But we are working towards being the best in technology anyways. Another important aspect of ethics in technology is accountability and responsibility. When we're talking about responsibility, you as a developer, you have your own role to play to ensure ethics in technology, all the rules or all the organized aspect or the organized procedures of using technology is maintained and followed responsibly. Developers and companies must take responsibility for the consequences of their technology. If you are building an application today and you happen to have thousands or millions of users subscribe or using this application, at the end of the day, you're going to bear the consequences. Yeah, you will take charge of whatever harm such application cost to your users. And this will as well make you to um, add more value into ethics in technology. Next is transparency, clear disclosure of how technology works, including their limitation and potential impact. This may not be a perfect example for this, but most of the times, if you happen to be buying domains or hosting, most of the times you'll be given a discount price without being told the renewal price. Now, after buying this for a year, when you come to renew your application, it happens that you can't even get your data nor renew those applications in an amount that will be comfortable with you. Environmental impact. Okay, environmental impact. Sustainable practice. The best approach of ethics in technology also includes environmental impact. These are basically um, not only software, we are talking about hardwares and softwares in this aspect. For instance, when we're talking about sustainable practices, minimizing the environmental footprint of technology production and usage. If industry today, though I don't think this is much rampant, CDs are downgrading and there are more sophisticated technology, which I assume that if we happen to be using those bigger, those huge amount of memory, then it will see that our environment will be littered today. For instance, a RAM of 2 MB as of then, we know how huge it is, even to transport it from a particular region. In fact, the first computer that was developed was amounted to be like as huge as someone's room, which means a computer that we can use today on our phone and laptops that was as huge as then. So if there was no sustainable practice to in kind of changing the method, changing the application, and changing the approach to which this technology are being built, we end up having an environment that is messed up with a lot of hardwares today. Then this one is e-waste, addressing the disposal and recycling of electronic waste. That is self-explicit. Anyways, impact on employment, job displacement, addressing the societal impact of automation and AI on employment. There was a presentation I made here, which was the impact of artificial intelligence on, I think on our role or something. So now, most of the time, some people tend to learn AI skills than learning a core hard skills like programming or soft skills like problem solving. Now, like I used to say, AI is here to help you most of the times. So it's now left for you to upgrade your skill. If you happen to be a teacher in secondary school, you are still teaching today because scientific calculator have been in existence for a while mathematics teachers have been employed. So it's a way you package yourself that you can maintain your position in the industry without being replaced by an AI. Imagine what you do in an industry is to just to collect should I say, the transaction that went on for the day and upload it to the company's website. Now, someone can easily use automation in Python or any programming language to handle such tasks. But if you happen to have that skill of building an application that can collect those data and upload it to a company's website, you still maintain a position in the industry. So artificial intelligence is here to help you. And another ethics in technology is building application that do not displace people, but at least it aid them to actualize their position in that organization. Next one is reskilling. So it seems I've included some part of the explanation. So reskilling, investing in education and training to help workers transition to new roles created by technological advancement. So we tend to go to school maybe after such taking such hours of lectures, and at the end of the day, we find out that it's actually a waste of time, but it's not. So it intends to give you various opportunities in areas in which you can key in. If you happen to study any technical course or any, should I say, mathematics or any computing course as well. So it tends to give you that wide opportunity that you can at least start something even without your certificate. Human-centric design. Usability. Now, imagine building an application that no one can use. Some people love to use command line interface. Some people love to use a graphical user interface. When you are building an application, that's, for instance, Windows. Windows tends to maintain their command line interface for a while and also have their graphical user interface. This is an opportunity of giving you two options, whereby if you don't love to issue commands, you can use the GUI. And another aspect of this, there's a point where you can get whereby it's necessary to use such commands. So, but the provision for those options is enabling you to at least know that usability is that they have you in mind while building this application, user-centric design. When we're talking about usability, ensuring that technology is designed with the end user in mind, prioritizing ease of use and accessibility. How you access this application, how you use them, and how easy it is for you to make use of such application is another ethics in technology. Mental health. Excuse me. Imagine using an application that at the end of the day, you start behaving like some of the, should I say, procedures that are involved, or some of the, anything that is involved in such application. So we consider the mental health of the users, or maybe staring at a screen for a while, and at the end of the day, you start developing some mental disorder or something. So another ethics in technology involves considering the impact of technology on mental well-being, such as the effect of social media. You find yourself scrolling on Facebook is very, very easier and enticing. That is when our dopamine started working the most. For instance, why is majorly advised not to share your ideas before bringing them live is whenever you share your idea that you meant to achieve solely, whenever you share it will be as if you've achieved such particular thing by yourself without even doing anything. So that's how dopamine work. And even the seamless effort to scroll through TikTok and just clicking it, sleeping, you find yourself enjoying the process and other things. Intellectual property. There's a music that started, should I say, booming recently by Mike Ejaya, Mugungungu. So Brain Jota brought that music back to life. So when we're talking about intellectual property, I just want to use it as an example. Now, some people began to visualize that Brain Jota has raped the man. He went with the music. He made some clip with the music and started aiming higher even than the person that sang the song. So, but at a point, there is intellectual property right. Yeah. So when everything was reviewed, it happens that Brain Jotter could not even end, though it happens that that gave him a lot of followers and views, but he did not end because the music was actually copyrighted. Yeah. So the music was actually protected by the Facebook application and other streaming platforms as well. So when we're talking about the intellectual property right, respecting the internet protocol address of every user, ensuring that the technology respects intellectual property right and does not infringe on the work of others. Imagine signing up for a site or anything, collecting your IP address, requesting for the metadata of your device, and using those things illegally. That is a part, I mean, that is aside from what ethics in technology covers. Open source, balancing property rights with the benefits of open source collaboration. Basically open source, if you happen to be collaborating or working on open source projects, something like the React Pi application that is currently on, now you can, okay, the React Pi application that is currently on, you can actually go in there, I mean, create a branch of such application and start working on them. So it's on now and is still in the development stage of which each patch is being developed per week or per month. So that's an open source software, and balancing the property rights with the benefits of open source and collaboration is very, very important. Then the use cases, examples and use cases of ethics in technology. Now we have three here. One is Facebook and privacy. So it's just basically an on-screen display, which any application that happens to be protected or happens to follow these guidelines. In fact, it's advisable for any application that you're building to protect your user in terms of privacy and data collection, to maintain intellectual property right, and some of those things mentioned earlier before now. The Cambridge Analytica standard highlighted significant issues around data privacy and ethical usage of user information. Then AI bias, when I mentioned whereby your application or your algorithmic design should have an approach that ensure that no one is treated more than the other. If you are scanning for human, it should be for human. You should not be scanning for white and for black. Your application can identify this, but do not make them that they are treated unfair. Then instances of bias algorithmic in facial recognition technology have raised concern about racial and gender discrimination. Yeah, this facial recognition stuff happens to be one of my projects in my final year. So, but it was actually face recognition for crime detection. So, but in terms of facial recognition bias, so if it has actually raised whereby selecting this part of people than the others, you're saying this black is not my one, it's not my brother, it's not a human, it's a monkey or something like that. Environmental impact on Bitcoin. Energy of consumption of cryptocurrency mining has sparked debates about the sustainability of blockchain technology, the ethical frameworks and guidelines. Now, these are the bodies and the guidelines that has already been put in place for we to follow while building such application that would love to integrate ethics in technology in it. IEEE Global Initiative of Ethics of Autonomous and Intelligent System. So the IEEE is a body ensuring the technology is designed with the end user in mind, prioritizing ease of use and accessibility. Most of the times, if you happen to buy domain something like .edu in Nigeria, something like the name of your domain, then the TLD should be something like .edu.ng, or should I say .uk? No, I think you can purchase UK for free, .uk.us, but something that ends to be with organization like .edu, which is a school, you will have to register this particular domain, and it's always monitored. Why is monitored is because they have the end users in mind. If you are building an application that has an end user domain that ends with edu, it tends to be like the monitoring here in this aspect is to ensure that you are not using this particular domain to do something illegal, whereby maybe creating a platform that allows students to make payment for their school. And why after making this payment, it happens that that is the endpoint, a bad endpoint of this particular domain, and it's not the actual domain for the institution. And the next one is ACM mode of ethics. This offers a set of principles to guide computing professionals in making ethically informed decisions. So here's a round off. Ethics in technology is multifaceted. and evolving field that requires ongoing dialogue among stakeholders, including developers, users, policymakers, and ethicists. By adhering to the ethical principles, the tech industry can contribute positively to the society, fostering trust and promote equitable and sustainable growth. It basically boils down to what I've said earlier before now. This is a growing area in technology. And the more it evolves, the more we create an enabling environment for both the developer of an application and the users of the application as well. So I don't know if you have any question before I ask mine. Was I alone?
No.
Okay, thank you. If you have any question, please ask before I ask mine.
All right. Thank you, Daniel, for that presentation. I would like to ask, these privacy policy documents attached to each applications or product, are they expecting human beings to read it, or why is it so long? Like, I tried to read one and it almost took me a whole day to read. Are they not going to like make a summary of this privacy policy or terms and conditions and all these things? Why can't they just get a summary of these things, paste somewhere so that you can quickly take a glance, and then if you want to read details, you now go to, I think they have to do something like that, because I don't know that document, I don't think they're expecting a human being to go and be reading such document.
Yeah, thank you very much. That was Samuel, right?
Yes, that's some.
Okay. Now, to be honest, I don't used to read terms and conditions. I'm sorry to say this, but what I found out that is our, should I say, intrinsic or our eagerness to have such application running on our system. For instance, when I click on any website that I want to register, should I say, okay, I want to get a virtual card to pay for something very urgent online. And on clicking yes, 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 this is our terms and conditions. Just scroll down and click accept, and I'll go on with the registration process. Now, basically, details matters a lot. That is why. But this is a nice suggestion, anyways. I love the way you put your question. It's in kind of a suggestion, but to me, why they have these details in mind is this. This privacy protection matters a lot. And if they are being charged in any court for not making their privacy data, privacy explanation more explicit for we the end users to understand, they may have to pay for the damages. So I suggest, or should I say, I'm looking at it in a way that they are having this privacy data huge, explicit, and more detailed for we to understand what we're going through. Most of the times, I don't read it. Yeah, most of the times, or unless it involves something that I will put my money and gain interest. So that's when I pay detailed attention to this. But most of the times, I don't read this. But the reason for this, a more detailed, huge, and various day. In fact, you can't even use 2 days most of the times to read this. Is because of privacy protection organization that have set aside to monitor such application or such companies. So why they do this is for them to be safe. Yeah, it's for their own good. It's for your own good as well. If you happen to read this, but I believe if you happen to read this before you get to the bottom line, you must have forgotten part of the first one that you've read so far. So that's how it is, and that's how it has been. So basically, they've made it that way for their own safety and for our own safety too. Then making it concise, I think that should be another topic of debate. But it's good to know that ethics in technology is a branch, or should I say, a part that is evolving, and it keeps in kind of evolving. Yeah. So any amendment that is going to happen should be communicated to all organizations involved, which include the IEEE, the ACM, and GDPR, and others, if I pronounce that correctly. So that's that. But the main thing here is that they have a huge explicit and explanatory for them to be safe and for you to be safe as well. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you for the answer.
I feel someone. Thank you, Samuel. Yeah, welcome. I feel someone is speaking. I don't know if you can come again with your question. Okay, it's fine. So this is mine. Just very discussable question. So how can companies ensure that the artificial intelligence system are free from bias and discrimination? It's open to everyone. Am I alone?
No, you're not alone. We are here. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Basically, companies will ensure that their artificial intelligence systems are free from bias by following the aforementioned ethics in technology approach. And the next one is what measure can be implemented to protect user privacy in the age of big data and advanced analytics?
Can you hear me?
And they just say hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Oh, I'm not exactly sure, but I'm still going to try. I'm guessing the answer will be that by letting the user know about the data they're collecting on, and like sharing those data to secure the organization that are specialized in protecting data and provide services for like maybe like cloud security storage of data or something. And that's
Okay.
big like
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Thank you very much. So most of the times, what me consider, because I've had to work as a backend developer. I don't love to design. Like, I mean, making something look more fancier is what I find myself struggling with. So most of the times, I don't pay attention to how your website look. Like, I mean, I don't pay much attention to how your website look. What I pay more attention is the security on your website. There is this application. Do this website shell or something? Shell registration procedure or application procedure. Yeah. I'm not from South or so, but I happen to view that particular website and see their process system. They don't have that much look there, but their security is high. There are many applications today that you might see, and they don't focus on how their website look. What they focus is the security that is involved in their website. So implementation of the protection and user protection and their privacy in the age of big data and advanced analytics. This would involve using advanced application and using excuse me and using advanced method of approach in developing your applications. So security of users in mind while building your application is paramount. The design, yeah, will come later. Yeah, to have a nice look and design is very, very important. But security of users is much more important in terms of any application that you're building. Thank you very much. Oh, I happen to present on time today and finish everything before the, the time specified. So thank you very much for staying. I do appreciate. Like I said, I'm free for collaboration.